Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Shakti Bhaktikam Shri Namami Bhakta Shaktikam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna hoite chatur mukha ya Krishna sevan mukha Brahma hoite narada ramati Narada hoite vyasa Madhvika he vyasa rasa Purna pragya padmana vagati Narari Madhava Vamse Akshoya Paramamse Shishya Volyangi Karakare Akshovyera Shishya Jaya Tirtanami Parichaya Taradase Gyana Sindhu Tare Taha Hoite Doya Nidhi Taradasa Vidya Nidhi Rajendra Hoilo Tate Tahara Kinkara Jaya Dharmaname Parichaya Parampara Janabalamate Jaya Dharma Dasye Kyati Shri Purushottama Jati Tahate Brahmanya Tirtha Sori Vyasa Tirtha Taradasa Lakshmi Pati Vyasa Dasa Tahate Madhavendra Puri Madhavendra Puri Vara Shisha Vara Shri Ishvara Nityananda Shri Advaita Vibhu Ishvara Puri Ke Dhanya Kole Lenya Shri Chaitanya Jaga Guru Gaura Mahaprabhu Mahaprabhu Shri Chaitanya Radha Krishna Nahe Anya Rupanuga Janera Jivana Vishwambara Priyankara Shri Swarupa Damodara Shri Goswami Rupa Sanatana Rupa Priyama Jana Jiva Raghunatana Hara Priya Krishna Kardasa Krishna Dasa Priya Bara Narottama Seva Bara Jara Bara Vishwanatha Sa Vishwanatha Bhakta Sata Baladeva Jagannatha Tara Priya Shri Bhakti Vinoda Mahabhagavata Bara Shri Gaura Kishora Bara Hari Bhajane Te Jaramora Shri Varsabhana Vivara Sara Sevya Seva Para Tahara Daita Dasanama Prabhu Pada Antaranga Shri Swarupa Rupa Nuga Shri Keshava Bhakati Pragyana Gaudiya Vedanta Veta Maya Vadatama Anta Gauravani Prachara Chardhama Pracharilo Gauravana Bhakta Vedanta Swami Pairo Prabhu Pader Kama Keshav Priya Mahajana Vamana Narayana Gauravani Tade Pranadhana Ey Sava Harijan Gaurangera Nija Jan Tadera Uchiste Morakama Guru Parampara Guru Parampara Parampara Guru Parampara বৃন্দাবনবাসী যত বৈষ্ণবের গান প্রথমে বন্দনা করি সবর চরণ নীলাচলবাসী যত মহাপ্রভুর গান ভূমিতে পদিয়া বন্দো সবর চরণ নবদ্বীপবাসী যত মহাপ্রভুর ভক্ত সবর চরণ বন্দো অনুরক্ত মহাপ্রভুর ভক্ত যত গৌড় দেশে স্থিতি সবর চরণ বন্দো করিয়া প্রণাতি যে দেশে বৈশে গৌরাঙ্গের গান বাহু করি বন্দো সবর চরণ হয়েছে না হইবে না প্রভু যত দাস সবর চরণ বন্দো তান্তে করি আশা ব্রহ্মাণ্ড তরিতে শক্তি ধরে জানে জানে এবিরে পরাণে গুণ গায় দেব শুনে মহাপ্রভুর গান সব পতিত পবন তয়ে লোভে মই পাপে লইনু শরণ বন্দন করিতে মই কত শক্তি দৌরি তাম ভুলি দোষে মই ধম্ব মাচ করি তথাপি মুখের ভাগ্য মনের উল্লাস দোষ ক্ষমে মধ্যমে করো নিজ দাস সর্ববঞ্চ সিদ্ধি হয় আম ভণ্ড ছুতে জগতে দুর্লভ হয় প্রেম ধন লুতে মানের বচন পূর্ণ অচিরতে হোয়া দেবকী নন্দন দোষ জয় वैष्णव तको जय वैष्णव तको जय वैष्णव तको (208) Atmanivedana tu apare kori hoino paramasuki tukadore gilo chintana rahilo chodike ananda deki Ashoka bhai amrita dhar tomara charana dhwar tahate ekana vishrama labhiya chadino bhavera bhai tomara samsare koribe sevana nahi bofalera bhagi तवे सुखा जाहे करिबे जाताना होए परे अनुरागी तुम्हार सेवाया दुख होया जातो से तो परमा सुख Seva sukha dukkha parama sampada nashaye avidya dukkha purva itihas pulinu sakha seva sukha peye mane amito tamar tumito amar Kikaja paradhane Bhakati vinoda nande dubhiya Tomara sevaratare Sava chesta kare Tava icha mato Takiya tamara gai Atmani vedana tua parikori Hoinu paramasuki Tuka doragilo Chintana rahilo Choreke ananda deke Prabhu he Prabhu he Prabhu he Prabhu he Prabhu he Prabhu He, Prabhu He, Prabhu He. Oh, Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Bhakti Vinod, Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Bhakti Vinod. Do 83. Gora pahuna bhajiyamainu Gora pahuna bhajiyamainu Gora pahuna bhajiyamainu Gora pahuna bhajiyamainu Premaratana dhana helayarinu Premaratana dhana helayarinu Gora pauna bhajiyamainu Atani jatana kori tanate yaginu Adhani jatana kori tanate yaginu Apana karama doshe apani dubinu Apana karama doshe Sat sanga charikai Nu asate vilasa Sanga ikoinu Asate vilasa Te karane lagilo je Karma bhanda fasa Vishaya vasama visa satata kainu Saya Visame Visa Satata Karino Gora Kirtana Rase Magana Nahainu Gora Kirtana Rase Gora Pahunabhajiyamainu Gora Pahunabhajiyamainu Kena vachaye prana Kisuka paiya Narotamata Sakino Nagilo Maria Gora Pahunabhajiyamainu Gora Jaya Sachinandan Jaya Gaurari Sachinandan Jaya Gaurari Jaya Sachinandan Nandan Jaya Gaurari Jaya Nitai Gauranga Jaya Nitai Gauranga Nitai Gauranga Jaya Nitai Gauranga Jaya Nitai Gauranga Jaya Nitai Gauranga Nitai Gaura Haribo 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 Nitai Gaura Haribo Nitai Gaura Haribo Just read this thing yesterday from Bhaktisiddhanta. I was thinking about. Listen to this. It's so crazy. We cannot chant Krishna's transcendental holy name when we are full of anartas, because while chanting it is possible to commit offenses. There is no such consideration of offenses while chanting Sri Gaur Nityananda's names. If a living entity sincerely chants the names of Gaur Nityananda, considering these personalities supreme, all his anartas will be destroyed, even if he is full of anartas. Isn't that crazy?
Can you read the last sentence?
Oh yeah, if a living entity sincerely chants the names of Gaur Nityananda, considering these personalities supreme, all his anartas will be destroyed, even if he is full of anartas.
Gaur Nityananda.
Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada. Okay. Do you want to sing for Krishna?
Do you want to sing, Mata? It's your last one. You want to sing for Krishna?
Yeah, I'm not sure what. Radha Madhava Punjabi is okay.
Yeah, it's great. And you can chant Hare Krishna if you want after that.
Okay. Find the page.
Page 158.
Oh, yeah.
I almost stole it, but I wanted to sing that one.
Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihare Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihare Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhare Jaya Girivaradhare Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jayo Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhare Jaya Girivaradhare Girivaradhare Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Jaya Radha, Jaya Krishna, Jaya Radha, Jaya Krishna, Jaya Radha, Jaya Krishna, Jaya Giri Raja, Jaya Govardhana, Giri Raja, Jaya Govardhana. Haribo, 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 Nitai Gora Haribol, Tagora Haribo, Haribo, Haribo.
Both. But I can do maybe like the Jadu Mandal part. Maybe if you want to do the Shri Krishna and his associates.
Sure. There we go.
Sound like a...
Sounds like a good plan to me.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, my idea, would you mind grabbing that bottom book? Like the white cover?
Yeah. Syamananda, Prabhu. This is today. Tomorrow.
Thank you.
Find it, you're expert.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, you know what they say? Krishna is the source of all knowledge, forgetfulness, and remembrance, so give me the knowledge. Give me the knowledge. Give me the knowledge. There we go. 2:13. Okay, so Ajnanatimurandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radhakanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Shyam Pravrajantam Anupetam Apetya Krityam Dvaipayano Virahaka Tarua Juhava Putreti Tanmayataya Taravo Benedus Tam Sava Bhuta Hridayam Munimanatosmi Bhaktya Vihina Aparadha Lakshay Chiptashchakamaditarangamadye Kripa Maitvam Sharanam Prapana Brinde Numaste Charanara Vindam Tevai Vasmi Najivam Itvayam Vina Iti Vigyaya Radhe Tvam Nayamam Charanam Tike. Let me see how much I can remember. Shamrani matram vande agnopiya danugrahat taret bhava sagarachcha nabet krishna premandanam Shri Krishna rupaya vaidiki kala visheshagnaya namamyaham pujam shamranim swaparikaraya. So I offer my unlimited obeisances, because what if I say my Diksha Gurus? Om Agyana Timrandas. Namo, you know that one already. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Goda Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Vaneti Namane. I offer my heartfelt obeisances in the dust of the lotus feet of my most worshipful Diksha Guru Srila Bhakti Vedanta Van Goswami Maharaj and my most beloved Shiksha Guru Pujaniya Srimati Shamarani Didi, who is not here with us today. She is back at the doctor, so we are going to celebrate and read about the glories of Sri Syamananda Prabhu. So Syamananda Prabhu, for those who don't know, you might have heard, he is one of the Prabhu tries. So in the morning when we do our Jayadvani, we say Srila Vishnunath Chakravarti Thakur ki Jai, then Srila Narottam Syamananda Srinivas Syamananda Prabhu Traya ki Jai, the three Prabhus. And they're all Shiksha disciples of Srila Jiva Goswami, and they have different Diksha Gurus. So they were instrumental in book distribution, preaching the word of the six Goswamis. So I'll read about Syamananda Prabhu. This is from Sri Chaitanya, His Life and Associates, mercifully manifest by Srila Bhakti Ballabh Tirtha Goswami Maharaj, published by Mandala Press, and it goes into details about so many associates of Lord Chaitanya. It is an amazing compendium for remembering Vaishnavas. So, and everything that he writes always relates back to a shloka, to a verse. So he says, Sri Syamananda Prabhu was a servant of Subal in Krishna Lila. He was a disciple, and so Subal in Krishna Lila is the friend of Krishna, cowherd boy friend of Krishna. So he's the disciple of Hridaya Chaitanya, and a disciple of Gauri Das Pandit, who is Subal in Krishna Lila. So in Krishna, Gauri Das Pandit was the grandfather guru of Sri Syamananda Prabhu. And Gauri Das Pandit is Subal in Krishna Lila. And then Syamananda Prabhu is similarly the servant of the servant, so the grandfather disciple of Subal in Krishna Lila. So it's the same. I don't know. It's kind of interesting because I was just thinking the same thing. I think he must be, I guess. Well, I don't know. He might be because he's not, like, we're not the same direct lineage, but then he was learning under, let's find out. So, it says, Sri Syamananda Prabhu was known in this world from the Syamananda Shakata. Sri Syamananda Prabhu was known in this world as Hridayananda's dear disciple. He was the grand disciple of Subal Saka, one of the Lord's dearest friends. May he, the crest jewel of the connoisseurs of divine love, appear day and night in my mind, bringing me an appreciation of the essence of the joys of Radha's beloved Krishna. Seems like he doesn't give a specific answer. So Syamananda Prabhu was born on the full moon day of Chaitra, today, in 1456 of the Shaka era, in the town of Darendra Bahadurpur, which is near Khargpur railway station in Medinapur. His father was Sri Krishna Mandal and his mother, Durika. Krishna Mandal's home, his father's hometown, was Dandeshwar, which lies on the banks of the Subarnarekha River. The following statement is found in the Gaudiya Vaishnava Abhidhana. Sri Krishna Mandal, so Sri Shamananda Prabhu's father, used to live in a place called Ambua, near Dandeshwar. He formerly lived in Goda, a part of Bengal which lies on the banks of the Bhagirathi River, Ganga, and only later moved to Dandeshwar, just across the present-day border in Orissa. Shamananda's disciples have established 5 principal seats in the towns of Dharendra, Bahadrapur, Raini, Gopi Balapur, and Nishringapur. Syamananda Prabhu was born in the Sadgopa subcaste, which fits in the category of Jala Kala. Brahmins were permitted to only take water touched by its caste members. Wow. Of course, a Vaishnava is beyond the material qualities and may take birth in a family of any race or caste. If anyone thinks badly of Vaishnavas or judges them on the basis of their race or caste, they are destined for hell. The Padma Purana states, anyone who considers the deity to be nothing but stone, the Guru to be an ordinary human being, or the Vaishnava to be a member of a particular caste or race, who takes the holy water which has washed Vishnu or the Vaishnava's feet and can destroy all the sins of the age of Kali, to be ordinary water, who thinks that the name or mantra of Vishnu, which destroys all evils, is the same as any other sound, or who takes Vishnu to be equal to anything other than him, has a hellish nature. For the Padma Purana. One who takes birth in a low-class family is not disqualified from performing devotional service, nor is one born in a pure, high-class Brahminical family automatically qualified for such a service. Whoever engages in the worship of the Lord is a great person. One who does not worship the Lord is rejected. From the Chaitanya Charitamrita 3:4, 66-7. Simply being a knower of the 4 Vedas does not make somebody my devotee. Even an outcast who is my devotee is dear to me. One should exchange gifts and food with such a devotee, for he is certainly as worshipful as I am. That's quoted in Hari Bhakti Vilas 10:127. Shamananda's parents had lost several children in childbirth. Okay, he's Duki Krishna. And they vowed to surrender their next child to Vishnu if it survived. They had suffered so much grief in the loss of their previous children that they first named Syamananda Duki, or unhappy, to ward off further distress. Syamananda's parents, Durika and Sri Krishna Mandal, made their home in Daneshwar. His father was the best of the Sagopoda caste. That's the caste. That's the caste that they will only drink water touched by him, Duki. That's from the Bhakti Ratnakara by Srila Nirahari Chakravarti, and that's 351 through 5 and 359. Syamananda Prabhu's parents performed the appropriate rituals such as the first eating of solid food and cutting of hair when the time came. As he grew older, he studied Sanskrit grammar. His parents were overjoyed to see his talents and religious proclivities. Syamananda listened carefully to devotees when they spoke of Gauranga and Nityananda's glories and liked to repeat them to others. Whenever he listened to the activities of Gaur Nitai or Radha and Krishna, tears would flow torrents from his eyes. Syamananda also served his parents devoutly, and they told him to get initiated so that he could fully commit himself to the service of the Lord. Duki agreed and told them that he wished to take Diksha from Hridoy Chaitanya and Ambika Kalna. Going there would also give him the chance to see the Ganges and bathe in it. His parents happily gave him permission to go. When Duki arrived in Ambika Kalna, he threw himself at the holy feet of Hridoy Chaitanya, who upon being acquainted with him, happily gave him the Krishna mantra. He gave Syamananda at that time Duki the Vaishnava name Krishna Das. And so he was known from then on as Duki Krishna Das. Hridaya Chaitanya ordered him to go to Vrindavan and take up a life of intense bhajan. Though Duki Krishna Das did not like being separate from his Gurudev, he set off for Vraj, first visiting Navadvip and other places in Gaudamandal, where he sought the blessings of the Vaishnavas. After spending much time on pilgrimage, he finally arrived in Vrindavan, where he became completely absorbed in the worship of Sri Sri Radha and Shama Sundar. In Vrindavan, Duki Krishna Das studied the Vaishnava scriptures under Sri Jiva Goswami, who was the leading scholar of the Sampradaya. When Hridaya Chaitanya heard of his enthusiasm, the enthusiasm with which Duki Krishna Das was leading a devotional life in Braj, he wrote a letter to Jiva Goswami in which he said that Duki should consider Jiva to be an extension of himself. Just as he gave titles to his other prominent students, Jiva Goswami gave the name Syamananda to Duki Krishna Das. The reasoning behind this name was that he brought great joy, Ananda, to Radha and Shama Sundar. Jiva Goswami sent Srinivasacharya, Narottam Das Thakur, and Syamananda back to Bengal with the Vaishnava scriptures in 1504 of the Shakabda era, which is 1582 to 83 AD. The idea was to spread the teachings found in these books throughout Bengal and Orissa. We have already related the events that took place when Beard Humbeard had these books stolen. So probably in the earlier chapter about Srinivasacharya, where it's typically told, when they arrived in this one town, so Beard Humbeard, the king had an astrologer, and the astrologer told him, there is a great wealth traveling through your city. And the three Vaishnavas, they were thinking, oh, this is a nice Vaishnav town. It's okay. We can be a little more relaxed. We don't have to be so overly protective. Like, we're good here. And the next day, they woke up, and the books were gone. It was a very, very difficult time. And eventually, and they were, I mean, this is also a time when books were handwritten on palm leaves. And it was not easy. You couldn't just go and get another copy of it on Etsy, which, by the way, for those online, you can right now get a copy of the art book or ASL on Etsy, or artwork too. Now, modern times and back to our programming. So, the Syamananda Prabhu, Srinivas ordered Syamananda to go on preaching in Orissa, and Narottam to the north in Bengal, where Srinivas, he then stayed there, and he preached, and he actually went and spoke Bhagavad Gita on, I believe, on Ras Leela to the king, and the king was a Vaishnav, and everybody in there was moved. The king was weeping. He said, "Oh, I want to take shelter of you," and he said, "Is there anything I can give you?" He said, "Well, the one thing that's on my heart is we were here with these books of my guru, and we've lost them, and it's if you can help me find them in any way." And the king's like, "Oh boy, well, those great jewels turned out to be here you go." So the king gave him the books, and that's how they retrieved the books. So during that incident, Srinivasacharya sent Syamananda to Orissa, and he's from near Orissa. He's from the Orissan state, or what's now the Orissan state. So it says the Midnapur district was previously under the rule of the Orissan king. So Radharani's special mercy on Syamananda Prabhu. This is interesting because I thought this was Syamananda, but he's a cowherd boy. We'll find out.
Also, I was thinking he's like Shiksha disciple of Jiva Goswami.
Yeah. Yeah, gotta ask.
So they're all, too, so it makes me think.
But it says that he's a servant in Krishna Lila. He's a servant of Subal Sakar. Hold on, let's read it. It's going to say something. Even though Syamananda Prabhu was, it's really about to say something. was a Hridoy Chaitanya's initiated disciple, his guru entrusted him to the care of Jiva Goswami. Through the association of Jiva and service to him, Syamananda developed a taste for serving Radha and Krishna in the conjugal mood. Wait. Gotta see. Haridoy Chaitanya Prabhu himself was a disciple of Gauridas Pandit, because somebody could still make the argument that even a Priyanamsaka is like the highest of Priyanamsakas. They're not in the Kunj, but that doesn't mean they wouldn't want to serve in the Kunj. I guess they wouldn't want to serve in the Kunj. They wouldn't.
I know what you're saying, but
No, they couldn't. No, yeah. We have to.
they serve the conjugal mellow, but they're not wanting to serve in the conjugal mellow.
Okay, so he is seeming to say that Syamananda is of Madhurya mood, because he says, Hridoy Chaitanya Pandit Prabhu himself was a disciple of Gauridas Pandit, who was one of the 12 Gopas, Subal Saka, Gauridas Pandit. He thus worshipped Gaurnitai in the mood of friendship. Those who think that Syamananda committed an offense to his initiating spiritual master by abandoning his mood and trying to directly serve Krishna in a different attitude are wrong. The mood of friendship is contained within the conjugal mood. If a disciple makes further progress in his spiritual life, it enhances the reputation of his teacher. An extraordinary incident which took place in Vrindavan prior to being ordered by Jiva to return to Orissa it is implying that he is in Madhurya. Yeah. An extraordinary incident which took place in Vrindavan prior to being ordered by Jiva to return to Orissa demonstrates how dear Syamananda was to Radharani. One day, Syamananda Prabhu was sweeping the Ras Mandala in Vrindavan. Or it might be the Ras Mandala. There's not markings. So, in Vrindavan, absorbed in ecstatic trance. But I think it makes more sense to be a Ras Mandala. Suddenly, by Radharani's transcendental mercy, he found her anklet bracelet, Nupura, lying on the ground. It says, in his excitement, he touched the ankle bracelet to his head, where left a mark that is preserved to this day as the tilak mark of the disciplic descendants of Syamananda. It is known as Nupur tilak. I have heard slightly different variation. Okay. So, Syamananda Prabhu is preaching. Narottam Thakur and Syamananda Prabhu primarily preached the message of Mahaprabhu through kirtan. Syamananda would entrance his listeners with his heartfelt singing of kirtan in the Reneti style. As a result of Syamananda Prabhu's preaching in Orissa, many Muslims also became his disciples. The most important of his numeral disciples was Rasik Muri or Rasikananda. Rasikananda was the son of Achyutananda, the zamindar of Rohini village. Zamindar is a landowner. He had another name, Murari, and was commonly known as Rasik Murari. He was a very powerful preacher, and his fame is still widespread throughout the villages of Orissa. More is told about him in the next chapter. A list of Syamananda's prominent disciples is given in the Bhakti Ratnakara by Srila Narahari Chakravarti. Syamananda made disciples all over the place. A person can be purified by hearing their names: Radhananda, Purushottam, Manohara, Chintamani, Balabhadra, Jagishwara, Urava, Akrura, Madhuvan, Govinda, Jagannath, Gadadhar, Anandananda, and Radha Mohan. Syamananda was constantly immersed in the joys of kirtan in the association of these disciples. Poets have described his wonderful pastimes for the pleasure of everyone. Among Syamananda's most notable disciples was a yogi named Damodar, whom he converted to Vaishnavism. Narahari Chakravarti has written the following account of that conversion. Syamananda mercifully flooded the yoga practitioner named Damodar with devotional ras. After becoming his disciple, Damodar cried and chanted the names of Nitai Chaitanya. Nitai Chaitanya, who could remain untouched by his ecstatic absorption. He danced, crying out, "Bhakti is the best of all!" After delivering Damodar, Syamananda continued to travel, distributing the jewel of devotion to everyone. Shamananda put on a large festival at Dharendra with Rasik Murari and Damodar that is still remembered today. When he left the world, Syamananda turned over the service of Govinda at Gopi Balapur. Shyamananda's disciples and their descendants still worship his deity Radha Shama Sundar in Vrindavan. The temple is still one of the principal pilgrimage sites in Vrindavan. Syamananda Prabhu lived the last part of his life in Sringapur in Orissa, where he continued preaching Vaishnavism. His earthly pastimes came to an end on the first day of the waning moon in the month of Ashra in 1552 of the Shaka era, 1630 AD. To preserve his holy memory, the branch of the Gaudiya Mutt in Midnapur city was named Syamananda Gaudiya Mutt. Syamananda Prabhu ki! And now, our very own Gadagraja Prabhu will be reading a little bit more about some of the pastime places in Vrindavan that relate to Syamananda Prabhu.
Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Offering unlimited Dandavad pranams in the lotus feet of my most worshipful Diksha Gurudevi Srimati Shamarani Didi, the whole Rupanuga Guru Varga, and all assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. Yeah, so thanks Haridas Prabhu. I will just pick up a little bit in this Braj Mandal Parikrama book, manifested by our Srila Gurudev Narayan Goswami Maharaj. This book is very, very, very significant and special. We know that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, one of the orders he gave to the six Goswamis was to recover the pastime places of Braj, because they were actually pretty much disappeared. You know, Brajanath had opened some temples and some stuff, but for the most part, it was like closed shop. You know, people didn't know. They were just like fields. People farmed in and stuff like that. And when Mahaprabhu, he went to Vrindavan, he noticed and found some of these places himself in his transcendental vision, like Radhakund and stuff like that. And so the six Goswamis, they established many temples and pastime places, and that was carried down. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, he led Parikrama, Braj Mandal Parikrama, and that was handed down to Srila Bhakti Pragan Keshav Goswami Maharaj, and then that was handed down to Srila Gurudev Narayan Goswami Maharaj, and he compiled all of that into this book. So this book is very, very vast and deep treasure to enter into Vrindavan. And so there's 12 forests of Vrindavan, and it goes through each one in many different pastime places within: Gokul, Mahavan, Kamyavan, Madhuvan, Talavan, Kamudavan, like this. And in Vrindavan, on the bank of Yamuna, there's many, many beautiful places. Like nearby we have a Rupa Sanatan Gaudiya Mutt. Nearby that we have Seva Kunj, all these secluded groves of Radha and Krishna's pastimes. And one of them is called Jadu Mangal, or Jadu Mandal. And in this place was the place where Syamananda, Srinivas, and Narottam were doing bhajan and studying Srimad Bhagavatam and other shastras under Jiva Goswami. And so, which is interesting also because Radha Damodar temple is right there nearby, and the six Goswamis really were centralized there and conversing and stuff. So it's such a beautiful, powerful hotspot of bhajan of the great six Goswamis. And so Jiva Goswami he told them to have different services. And so one of the services he told Syamananda Prabhu was to sweep this ancient place of Krishna's pastime. Sweep it every day. And he told him, if you find anything, return it right back to its owner. And so one day he's sweeping, and he finds an anklet, a little anklet, a nupura, like what he said. And so he could understand this is Srimati Radhika's. And so I'll just read directly from the text so we can hear Gurudev's narration. The pastime connected with this place occurred at the time of the famous Srila Jiva Goswami. Srila Syamananda, Srila Narottam Thakur, and Srila Srinivasacharya studied Srimad Bhagavatam and the Goswami literatures from the young Srila Jiva Goswami, who gave Syamananda the service of sweeping this ancient place of Krishna's pastimes. One day, while he was sweeping in the early hours before dawn, Syamananda found a golden anklet. Previously, Jiva Goswami had instructed him to return any lost object that he might find directly to its owner, not to anyone else. If any others should try to claim a lost item, he should inform them of Jiva Goswami's instruction to him. Syamananda therefore very carefully tied the golden anklet in the corner of his upper garment. A short while later, 2 Braj Balas, young girls, came to him and said, "The anklet you found belongs to our Saki, and we have been looking for it. You can give it to us." Sri Syamananda humbly replied, "Whomever the anklet belongs to should personally come and collect it. I will not give it to you." He's listening to Srila Jiva Goswami's instruction. The young girls replied, "Do you feel no shame? How can you dare desire to see the face of this young daughter-in-law?" But Syamananda, he understood it was Radharani's. Syamananda adhered to his words and did not give them the anklet. The 2 young girls brought their girlfriend to Syamananda and said, "Tie the anklet around her foot." Sri Syamananda's hands trembled with prema as he tied the anklet around the foot of their friend. These young girls were none other than Srimati Radhika herself and her 2 Sakis, Lalita and Vishaka. Srimati Radhika ceaselessly desires to bestow mercy in this way upon her loving devotees. So she sent Lalita and Vishaka first to go get the anklet, but he said, "No, I'm going to give it directly to Radharani. Jiva Goswami told me." Really amazing. So then they came. By this event, Syamananda's life became blessed. Previously, his name was Dukhi Krishnadas. But upon receiving the mercy of Srimati Ji, his name became Syamananda Das. Srimati Syamananda Das. Radhika. Srimati Lalita stamped that anklet on Syamananda's forehead. Even today, those in the spiritual family lineage of Syamananda Prabhu wear a tilak in the shape of the anklet on their forehead. Jai Syamananda Prabhu ki jai. So, in the general vicinity, there's a lot of amazing pastime places. Santi recommended that just because it's so nectar territory that I mentioned something of maybe some of them. So we have right by actually a lot of pastime places that have to do with Krishna's Rasa Leela in Srimad Bhagavatam. We have Shringar Vat. We have Vamsi Vat. Krishna played his flute on the autumn night, called all of his beloved gopis out, many Ras Mandals, and we have Shringar Vat is the place where Krishna, right nearby, where Krishna, when Radharani and Krishna left Ras Leela, they went for some time, and this is the place where Krishna himself made little jasmine flower ornaments and picked the flowers and decorated Radharani himself. He picked these flowers, made the crown and garland and stuff like that, Gurudev explains. And then she, for many reasons, it's all explained there in Bhagavatam and Gopi Geet, that Radharani wants to hold up Krishna because she's feeling guilty that not all of the gopis get to be with Krishna. And so she says, "I'm tired, I don't want to walk any longer. Can you pick me up?" And Krishna says, "Okay, get on my shoulder." But Krishna's kind of bummed that she's like hesitating. He can tell there's some friction. Of course, he knows what's going on. And so when she goes to get on his shoulder, he leaves. He disappears. And she falls. And she goes very, very deep into separation. And there's actually a pastime place a little bit far. It's in a different forest, but it's called Mansarovar. And this is the place where she cried so much that she created a little kund there made of her tears. And all the gopis, after Krishna left Rasa Leela with Radharani separated, then they are also in separation. Where is Krishna? But they don't know that Radhika is with him. So they're also searching. They're also searching. And eventually they go deeper into the forest and they start acting out. They're so mad in separation, they start acting out all of Krishna's pastimes. Some are acting Trinavarta, demon. One gets on another one's arms and acting like Krishna, Kaliya, serpent. Sometimes when their separation is so intense that they feel actually they are Krishna. They're so absorbed in Krishna's pastimes. So one of them said, look at me, I'm so coy, entering the forest, playing flute and stuff like this. And so they're going on like this, and one of them, and another thing they do is they question different people in the environment, like Tulsi plant. They say, oh, you look like you've blossomed so fresh and nice, you must have been touched by Krishna, and all these things. Tell us, where is Krishna? Mother Earth, where is Krishna? We know that you feel his footprints, you know where he is. Please lead us to that guy. So like this, they're going on, and eventually they find footprints somewhere in the sand. And they say, come on, it's Krishna. But then they notice it's not just one pair of footprints, there's two pair of footprints. So they realize he's not alone. He must have took someone with him. So then they follow the footprints, and it's a smaller set of young girls' footprints. So they follow, and it's like a transcendental investigation. They can see, there's here, Krishna has picked her up, and then at some point they can see there's toes. They went in a little deeper in the sand, so they understand, and they saw that flowers were picked. So they say, he was decorating his beloved, and so this was Shringarvat, where he was decorating. And then eventually they actually come upon Radharani herself in a very, very desperate situation. And they understand that Radharani's love is superior to all of us, because he has left millions of gopis for the sake of one. So how grand is her love? And so at this point they all come under the guidance of Radharani, and then they go to the bank of Yamuna here, and they speak their Gopi Gita, which is the absolute crest jewel crescendo of Srimad Bhagavatam, these prayers of the gopis in separation. And so much of this is happening all in this area. Very, very amazing. And not only that, but there's even secluded places of their pastimes in this area, like Seva Kunj, which our Srimati Shamarani Didi has painted. So many pastimes are contained within. And there's one very amazing place called Niduvan that's nearby here as well. And I just wanted to mention one pastime that I heard at this place, like an early morning pastime. It's called Nishant, where Radha and Krishna are just waking up, and they start speaking to each other. Like in the Mangalarti song, we sing Madhurya Kujana. It's like sweet. The birds are sweetly conversing with one another, but it's also described that Radha and Krishna are sweetly conversing with one another, like that Madhurya Kujana, sweet words. So there's this one story. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he explains it. He says it's called a Swapna Vilasamrita, a nectar pastime about a dream. It's really sweet. Radharani, she wakes up and she says, "Oh, my beloved Krishna, I had a dream. I had a very, very interesting dream, and I can't understand what I saw." She said, "I saw in my dream there was a river that looked just much like Yamuna River, and it had beautiful sandy banks that looked so similar to our banks of Vrindavan." And she said, "And I saw this personality, this golden personality, and he looked so attractive and beautiful. He looked like one of us, you know. And what's even stranger is I could hear him crying, 'Oh, Krishna, Krishna, where are you?' Tears coming from his eyes. And he had associates who were so expert at playing kartals and mridangas, just like our gopi friends. And then what's even crazier is that And then I heard him saying, "Oh, Radharani, where are you?" She said, "Krishna, the thing that I can't understand is when he's saying Krishna, Krishna, I thought, is this beautiful golden complexion personality me? But then also he's saying, oh Radhe, where are you?" So I'm thinking, is this personality you? I can't understand. Please answer this question. So Krishna, he says, why are you confused now? I've shown you my different forms in the past. There was one pastime where they were in one secluded grove, and they're hanging out together talking, and Radharani randomly, she says, "I want to see your form as Lord Narayan and Lord Ram." She said like that, and Krishna showed her.